Hey everyone, in this video, we will be talking about the zodiac signs. As mentioned in the earlier videos, along with the numbers, I also take into account the zodiac signs to understand the person. And before we discuss the combinations of the numbers and the zodiac signs, I wanted to talk about the zodiac sign duality. So we all know we have a zodiac sign and we relate to the qualities of that zodiac sign. But over the years, I have seen patterns and I've observed people around me. Apart from the zodiac sign they are born in, I've seen they exhibit the qualities of the zodiac sign exactly opposite. The reason is because of the concept of duality. Uh, two opposites, two opposite energies usually attract each other because in life we are always trying to find a balance between two extremes. And you get the most satisfaction, most success, I believe, if you are able to find a balance and not just go to extremes. So we know there are 12 zodiac signs, and so instead of looking at them like 12 zodiac signs, I see them as six pairs of two. And today we will be discussing the first pair, which is Aries Libra. And, yeah. So the first sign, Aries, the entire zodiac, actually, you can see it as a human body. So the Aries phase starts with is the first sign. The second sign, Taurus, is the throat, the mouth, where you consume food resources. The third sign, Gemini, is the shoulders and the arms. But in this video, we'll be talking about Aries, which is the head face, the main personality of the person. You recognize a person from the face. The natural energy of Aries is a natural male energy, and the sign Aries is ruled by the planet Mars. So you've heard of the saying, men come from Mars. And the qualities are aggression, fighting spirit, physical action, energy intensive activities, pioneers, self starters, lone rangers. They say they can do things on their own. They don't need anybody's help. They have the energy, they have the courage. They'll go out and start something on their own. Any activity related to building, creating things, because Aries is like the Big Bang. If you see the sign, it looks like something is sprouting out, blasting out. So that's like the Big Bang, the creation, the beginning of the zodiac starts from there. So these are the main qualities, and it's all connected to aggression, Aries energy. It's not something soft and pleasant or easy. It's more masculine, energy intensive, and more physical. So we will see some examples. Okay, and yeah, we'll also talk about Libra. And Libra in the human body, Libra rules the urinary system, which is midway down the body, which includes the kidneys and the other parts in the urinary system. I don't know exactly what all parts are there, but kidneys are the main part which regulate the water in the body, the kidneys, and water element is connected to relationships, emotions. And that's why Libra is the sign of marriage partnerships. Aries is like a person who says, oh, I don't need anybody's help. I can do things on my own. Libra is an energy which says, I want to take everyone's opinion. I want to cooperate with everyone and then do something. So that's like those are the two opposite energies. So Aries is the male energy, which can do things on themselves. Libra is the female energy, which requires assistance or a partnership to do something. And that's why Libra is a sign of marriage and partnerships in general. It could be a business partnership as well, but the main signification is marriage. It's the natural female energy, it's diplomatic, peacemaker, unlike Aries, which is straight, direct, and lacks diplomacy. Libra is all about diplomacy, peacemaking, relaxation. As we mentioned, Aries is all energy intensive activity. Libra is more about relaxation, comfort, riches. Libra is a sign of beauty, trade, business. Libra is the scales. So you give something and you take something. It's the markets. So all shops, markets, department stores, malls, all come under Libra. And you see, all the shops are usually beautiful. The malls are usually beautiful. Factories are not necessarily that beautiful. Factories is where you produce things, you manufacture things, like we said in Aries. Let me go back. Building, creating something. So you create, build stuff in factories. There are machines. There are motors. So that's all energy intensive. And Libra is where you sell those products which you produce. It's the marketplace, the shops, the malls. So and those are usually the clean places, the fancy places, the colorful, beautiful places to attract customers to buy the products. So, and Libra is the sign of beauty. It's the natural, it's female energy. If Aries is a man, Libra is a woman, and Libra is all about beauty. And I will talk about that a bit more. And Libra is also the sign of wealth. Issues with decision making, because Libra is the scales. The symbol of Libra is the scales, and the slight gust of wind and the scales just move right, left, right. Like from right to left, right to left, and that's why they find it difficult to make decisions, especially if you give them two options. They'll take a long time to decide, or they'll call their friends, family, and say, hey, should I do this, should I do that? But this is also good, but that is also good, but this also has this pro point, this has this pro point, this has a con, this has a con. And so they'll take a long time to take a decision. So you better not give Libra two options, just give them one option. That's it. Libra is a sign of relationships and marriage, as we discussed, and also social. So Libra is very social. It wants to maintain relations with everyone, uh, because it feels the need that it needs the cooperation of people. You don't know, maybe in future you may need to cooperate with someone. You may need help. So it's no point burning the bridge with everyone. Have a good social presence, and that's why they're good at public relationships and managing relationships in general. Libras are quite good at it. The next slide, this picture is of the goddess Lakshmi in Indian mythology. She is one of the three divine forms of the divine feminine. So one of the form is called Lakshmi, and she is the goddess of wealth, prosperity, and beauty. So if you see the image of goddess Lakshmi, she's seated on a beautiful lotus flower, with all the ornaments, jewelry, traditional Indian sari, and so that shows that liking for good clothes and beautiful clothes. And you see some gold coins falling from her hand out here. So she's significator of wealth as well. So beauty, wealth, and that is what we see in the Libra sign. Librans, no matter what number they have, even like the numbers which are not that good at money management, the Librans always have wealth. They always make wealth. They always have a sort of a rich life. And whether it's a man or a woman, they're usually quite attractive and beautiful. And I see this signification of this goddess showing in this zodiac sign. And the other thing about Libra is we talked about goddess Lakshmi, but there is also another deity which rules the planet Venus in Hindu mythology. It's Shukracharya, and this deity is known as the one-eyed white god. And uh, this the emphasis is on the white, because liberals have something white about them. Now, this is like a key word. So either they will have blonde hair, or they will have extremely like fair uh, complexion, or they'll put a lot of makeup on themselves. Even though they are fair, they'll put a lot of layers of makeup to make their faces whiter. I've seen that few girls, and they put like a really large layer of makeup, and their friends are also surprised. Why are they putting so much makeup? They're just looking too white. or they'll have white hair, or they could be a man with white hair. There's something white about them, which I've noticed. It's a pattern which I've noticed, and it it just connects with this mythological theory. And also, Libra, as I mentioned earlier, Libra is ruled by the planet Venus, and Venus is a significator of sperm, which creates life, and it's the color white. So Libra is connected to the color white in particular, but also Libra, uh, people have sort of a lot of colors in their life. Usually, Libra, you will see the women, especially, if they wear any clothes, it's usually colorful. They will wear the bright reds, the greens, the yellows, which usually not many people wear. They play with the safe colors. But Libra is a energy which, especially the women, they'll wear all colored clothes. It's fine with them, and they know how to carry it. The bright, colorful clothes. So, other keyword with Libra is colorful. And let's see. So we talked about Aries and Libra, and let's go to the next slide. Here we have examples of real life people. So the first example is the founder of Zara, Amancio Ortega, born 28 March 1936. He's a 1-5 Aries. He started off Zara. Actually, the original name was Zorba. He had a small workshop in his house, so near where he lived in the town of Karuna. He and his wife started this workshop, and his wife was designing lingerie items, and he had some, I guess, machines out there. He was stitching those items, and they were selling it. And gradually, over the years, they grew. They changed their name from Zorba to Zara. They started opening many shops. Now they have factories all around the world and shops around the world selling Zara products. And almost everyone knows about this brand. Now, um, as I mentioned, Aries is a sign, he's an Aries, and Aries is a sign of creating, manufacturing, factories. But in his case, it was a workshop. Workshop is like a small factory, maybe in his house or nearby. And he was manufacturing lingerie items and selling them. Now, lingerie items, clothes, anything to do with fashion, clothes, is all connected to Libra, because Libra is a sign of beauty, and this comes under Libra. So he had a small workshop. He was selling the lingerie and the other clothes. So you see the axis, Aries and Libra both are working for him. And later on, he had much bigger, much more beautiful shops, much bigger factories all around the world, and doing the same. Aries manufacturing, Libra selling in shops. And in his case, he started off his workshop along with his wife. The word wife comes under Libra, partner comes under Libra. So you can see that signification also. In his success is started off with a workshop selling clothes along with his wife. So these keywords which I'm using, it will help you to take decisions if somebody is looking out to do something, an idea how to, what path to choose in life, what decisions to make. These keywords really help. So this is one example. The next example is Jackie Chan, born 7 April 1954. He's a 7-3 Aries. We all know he's the world famous martial artist and movie star. Uh, so he's a number 7 and Aries. So Aries, as I mentioned, is the sign of aggression, martial arts, fighting, protecting people, and that's what he's been doing. He's famous for his martial arts. In all his movies, he has made the Chinese martial art uh, subject famous. Uh, Bruce Lee like introduced the Chinese martial arts to the world, and he's carried on that legacy of promoting Chinese martial arts through his movies. So number 7 in Aries, all about fighting. As I mentioned earlier, number 7 in Vedic astrology is connected to the shadowy planet Ketu, which is also known as the south node of the moon. And Ketu has a lot of fire element in it. Basically, the element connected to this shadowy planet is fire. So, although Aries is also fighting aggression, 7 is also good at fighting and combat because it has that fire energy. So, uh, in so you see the Aries play out in his life. And how about Libra? Where does Libra play out in his life? Libra is the sign connected to China. So all zodiac signs are connected to some countries also. And Libra is connected to China. I do not know the exact reason why, but I would say the planet Saturn gets exalted in Libra. And Saturn is all about hard work and structures, boundaries, walls. And Chinese people are the most hardworking. They are known to be the most hardworking people in the world. The Great Wall of China is in China. And I've just noticed it again and again that Libra is connected to China. And through Jackie Chan's movies, he has promoted the Chinese culture, Chinese martial arts through his movies. And we can see that. And the next example is another Aries woman, Kelly LeBrock, born 24th March 1960. She's a 6'7" and Aries. She is an actress, not very famous, but she was famous because of this one movie she was in, The Woman in Red. And in this movie, she wore this red dress most of the time, and everyone knows her for this red dress. And the name of the movie is Woman in Red. She's an Aries. Aries is connected to the planet Mars, the hot, fiery energy, and the color red. And she's a woman, which is Libra. Libra is a sign of feminine energy, woman. And she became famous in a movie, Woman in Red. So you see how the Aries and Libra signs work and contribute to her success. So this is just to give you an idea, like if somebody wants to do a movie or a director wants to or an actor wants to play a part in a movie, what sort of role the person should do if he's an Aries or if he's a Libra. You know the significations. You just choose one of these significations and it should work. Mm. Maybe Kelly LeBrock could have worked in a movie where she's working in a factory or working in a shop, but she just wore a red dress, satisfied the Aries condition, and was portrayed like a beautiful woman, which she was and is. And she became famous for that. The next example is Ingvar Kamprad, the founder of IKEA stores. He's born 30th March 1926. He's a 3-6 and Aries. And Ingvar Kamprad, from an early age, he wanted to earn money and he went around selling pencils. And gradually he grew this trade and ended up selling furniture. As we know, IKEA sells furnitures in parts and has a manual how to join the parts and build the furniture yourself. And their slogan is also build it yourself. Aries is a sign of building things, constructing things. That that's that reflects in the IKEA logo, not the logo, the IKEA brand. And they have factories all around the world and shops all around the world selling home furniture products and anything furniture. The word furniture comes in Aries because you have to construct, you have to build furnitures. Anything connected to carpentry is Aries. You have to saw something, you have to cut something, you have to drill something. It's all machines, motors, energy intensive activities. So Aries is everything connected to furniture. And Ingvar Kamprad is number three, which is the planet Jupiter. And IKEA has huge shops and huge factories. They don't just have factories, they have big factories. From what I've understood, they have like huge volumes of products which they manufacture. They might manufacture the same one product, but a lot of it. That's what's number three energy about. This video is all about zodiac signs, so we'll focus more on the zodiac signs. And so in his case also, he's got big factories, Aries, and he's got big shops, Libra, where he sells the products. And his products are home furnishings. They are not clothes, unlike Amancio Ortega, the founder of Zara, who sold clothes which are more Libra nature. He sold like mostly fancy women's clothes and also men's clothes. But in Ingvar Kamprad, he was selling furniture, which is more Aries activity. It's a signification of Aries. And the next slide, Aries-Libra. Okay, we have Hugh Hefner, the founder of Playboy, born 9 April 1926. He's a 922 and Aries, and he's known for being the founder of the Playboy magazine and the adult entertainment group. And he's always surrounded by women in all the pictures you see. He's a number nine and Aries. Number nine actually is also ruled by the planet Aries. If we go back to the slide which we had earlier, so Aries sign, number nine, and Mars, they all are in one group. So he's Hugh Hefner is a number nine and an Aries. So it's like a double whammy of the same energy. So he was a typical alpha male, or was surrounded by women, and his Playboy magazine and his company was all about women. And you can see women is Libra, and he was like a typical alpha male, and that's how we see his life play out. It's pretty straightforward in his case. In his case, he's a 9 and 22, and 22 adds a bit of unexpected crossing the boundaries sort of energy. Such people are a bit rebellious and they go against the norms of the society and they break boundaries and they can touch taboo subjects. It's all fine with them. So he was a nine, Mars, typical alpha male, and he became famous because of uh, Playboy magazine. And the trigger for this, I think, happened. I read some story that he caught his wife cheating, and since that day, he thought he followed his wife, and he just started this Playboy magazine, and and that just developed. And his wife again is the word Libra. Whatever happened, the incident which happened with his wife triggered him into a new direction. And that's how he founded Playboy magazine. And then he had many affairs and all that continued. So again, you see man, woman, husband, wife, that theory, that those significations are playing out in his life. The next example is of a Libra, Lindsay Vonn. She is a world famous Olympics skier. Uh, she's born on 18 October 1984. She's a 9-5 Libra, and Libra is a sign of feminine energy, beauty, and this lady, Lindsay Vonn, she's quite a beautiful woman, but she's also a very driven skier, if that's the right word, person who skis. And I mean, skiing is not about Libra, but it's more of a racing action. Anything connected to racing, going fast, is Aries, because Aries is the ram, the animal, the ram, which bangs its head against another ram and fights and rushes into something. That's the racing energy. So, although she's a Libra, she likes the Aries racing activity. And she's very driven, she's very brave. She is also a number nine, as you can see, she's 18 October, 1 plus 8 is 9. And she has a lot of Aries energy because I've seen a few interviews of hers. She's had a lot of accidents where she's broken a lot of bones, and accidents and breaking something is Aries, because when you bash into something, you break something. Accidents happen. And the word accidents is Aries. So Aries are usually accident prone, and Libras also, I have seen that they are accident prone. And she has had a lot of accidents while skiing, and she's broken her bones a few times, been in hospital, and it's been a couple of times. But she's got this mm, never dying spirit, and she's always looking forward to the next challenge. And she doesn't worry about the accidents. She's quite brave. And also in her life, she has had relationships with partners who are mostly interracial, and there has been a controversy or just media scandal or gossip in the media that she's got interracial partners and she's got a lot of hate for it. And the reason is Saturn, the planet, is exalted in Libra, and Saturn rules the color black or anything dark skinned, or and that gets exalted in Libra, and her partners have always been interracial. So that's one signification which plays out the Libra signification. And Saturn also rules everything cold, icy, mountains, and Saturn gets exalted in Libra. So she's a skier. She's skiing on mountains. And that is also one signification which I see play out. So although Libra is a sign of relaxation, beauty, everything pleasant, she's a racer and she skis on mountains because Saturn gets exalted. The cold, heavy planet of Saturn gets exalted in the sign Libra. And next, we go to Mahatma Gandhi. He's the most famous Indian ever. He is the famous freedom fighter who helped India gain independence from the British. He was born in a wealthy family and he was a lawyer. He studied in London and then he lived in South Africa. And once during a train trip in South Africa, and that time South Africa was ruled by the British, he was thrown out of the train because he was an Indian and he was dark skinned. And from that day, he decided that he has to fight for the freedom of the people in South Africa. And then he moved to India and started the independence movement. So he's a number two, born October 2nd, 1869. He's a 2 and 9 Libra. Libra is a sign of, as I mentioned, diplomacy, peace. And he's known as the most famous Indian freedom fighter. But his way of fighting the freedom struggle was different. He had a non-violent way of fighting. He called it satyagraha. In that, it meant that no attacking, you don't have to attack anybody, and you just have to do a peaceful, non-violent movement where you don't obey anything which is not correct, civil disobedience, and few other things, but he always refrained from attacking anyone. Uh, it was more of a silent, uh, non-violent struggle. And non-violence is all Libra, but the Aries energy is also there. So he was fighting for India's independence, but in a non-violent way, which is very rare. Usually people fight with hammer and tongs and weapons, but he had his own diplomatic way of fighting and I would say peaceful way of fighting. And he eventually got the freedom for India. And he's printed on every banknote in India. And if you see his photos, he always wore a white cloth around him. It's the traditional Indian dhoti. And he would um, manufacture the cloth himself. He had that wheel machine to weave to manufacture the cloth. And so his fashion sense was not very fancy, but it was just white. He was known for wearing a white cloth. And as I mentioned earlier, Libra is a sign of the white, the one-eyed white god, the color white, and that reflects in his life. And if you just see the numbers quickly, his destiny number is 9, which is connected to Mars and Aries. So it's again that fighting energy. So he fought for the country and got them independence. And the the next thing, before I forget, when he was thrown out of the train in South Africa, thereafter he did some protest against the British rule there, and the cops came and the British cops came and like broke his hands because he wasn't ready to pull back, and they kept on beating him and sort of broke his hands. So he bore the brunt and they attacked him, which is again Aries signification, but he kept on going. So that courage of Aries and the courage of 9 you can see in his life. It did not uh, make him weak. In fact, he became even stronger. The next example is Alfred Nobel, born 21st October 1883. He's a 3 and 1 Libra. Alfred Nobel is most famously known for the Nobel Peace Prize. He started that movement, and but before that, he took over his family business, which was a company manufacturing arms and weapons. And he did a lot of other scientific discoveries and various compounds used for bombs and armaments. And he was quite wealthy through his business ventures in the sales of arms. And once what happened, his younger brother, I guess his name was Ludwig, he died. And somehow the media and the newspapers mistook it as him and they thought he died. And they posted the news in the newspaper that Alfred Nobel, the king of death, finally died. And it was sort of a negative image because of what he was doing. He was manufacturing arms, and he read that and he was surprised that, oh my God, this is a mistake, that he's not dead, but this is how the world will remember me. And that's what moved his conscience a bit. And he, thereafter, he decided to open the Nobel Foundation and give prizes for anyone who worked towards peace. And he donated, I think, most of his estate and fund and wealth to the Nobel organization. And since then, you have this Nobel Peace Prize going on for, I guess, almost 100 years. So you see, he was manufacturing arms and ammunitions, which is Aries, fighting, aggression. And something happened, and then he moved to Libra, which is peace, no fighting. Libra is a sign of peace. Aries is the exact opposite, war, arms, ammunitions. So you can see how beautifully we all sort of dance between the two zodiac signs. So I call it the dance of duality. And we are all part of it. Sometimes we are more in one sign, sometimes we move to the other sign. In some people's lives, you will see only the opposite sign is showing up. In some people's signs, only the sign they are born in shows up, and in some, it's a bit of both. And some people may not realize they are actually playing out the opposite sign because there are so many significations connected to each sign. So everything you see around you can be associated to a zodiac sign. Table, the thoughts, anything tangible, anything intangible can be associated to a particular sign. So aggression, the emotion of aggression is Aries. Peace is Libra. The table you're sitting on, the furniture is Aries. Food is Taurus. Your hands are Gemini. So if you just understand what falls under which sign, it helps you interpret life better and maybe even take decisions sometimes and or choose the right path. So this is the end of the first uh, pair of zodiac duality. We've completed Aries and Libra. And in the next video, we'll talk about the next polar signs, which is Taurus and Scorpio. If you have any questions, you can put it in the comments. Thank you. Have a nice day.